Fear the unknown. Fear your dreams. Fear what's real. Fear what hides in the shadows. Mike Horan's Remnant. Coming soon.
Welcome back to Remnant HQ video podcast number 5. As we explore the production of our feature film Remnant, I'm Mike Horan, director of Outlaw Films. I'm also executive producer, writer and director of Remnant. Today is the second of our video chats with the cast of Remnant. With me today is producer and editor Andrew Davis and one of our wonderful lead actors, Isabelle Weiskopf. How are you?
Very well.
Good morning.
Very
Welcome.
excited.
Welcome. Yes, the joys of doing video podcasts.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so let's get into it. So Issy, so you're playing the role of Kate Prendergast. So how does it feel to be playing one of the lead roles in the feature film Remnant?
It feels so good. I am beyond excited to actually get going and start filming. And I'm also a relatively, I've just graduated from drama school and I've only been out for a short while. So I feel very, very grateful to be given this opportunity to sort of showcase and just get some real experience and work with such amazing directors and writers and cast and crew. So I'm feeling very grateful.
Oh no, and we're so
pleased to hear that. Yeah.
That's for
So I
sure.
just want to ask, Izzy, can you just tell us a little bit about how you got into acting in the first place? Was there a particular actor or actress that sort of influenced you or inspired you to get into it?
Yeah. So I started doing community theatre when I was in primary school, and I remember I think I was playing Hansel and Gretel or something, and I was Gretel, and I remember being up on the stage and the feeling was just electric. I was like, what is this feeling? What's happening? I don't know, there's just something about being in the moment, just existing and truth and creativity. I don't know, there's an intersection with acting between all of those points. And it was just the most electric feeling. And I remember telling my mum afterwards, I think she told me just earlier that I was bouncing off the wall, that I was just sort of ecstatic. And I was like, yeah. And so from there I decided, I was like, oh, I want to chase this feeling. And so I decided to go to a theater high school, a performing arts high school. So we had ballerinas and dancers, and I was in the theater stream. And then I went to uni and I studied acting there. And someone who's inspired me was having to think about this, and I've definitely inspired, but also I've been really enjoying following the careers of Anya Taylor-Joy from The Queen's Gambit.
Oh yeah.
And also Florence Pugh. She was just in the Black Widow film, but she did Midsummer. And just the way that they sort of morph across genre and character, I sort of aspire to that really does inspire me. I'm they are real sort of chameleons, and I think that's really cool.
Fantastic. So when you saw the ad for the on Facebook where we posted for what was it that drew you to the film, and also especially the character of Kate as well?
Yeah, I remember I love horror, but I do have to watch it with someone else with me. I can't watch it on my own. I get too scared. But yeah, I really loved the horror aspect, and I remember someone telling me that horror was one of the most, not profitable, but one of the a really substantial genre that sort of all throughout time has had like a really like firm hold
Exactly.
on the industry. And I
true,
thought
yeah.
like horror is always like some of my favorite films, even though they terrify me. But I really enjoy horror. But another thing that really attracted me was I saw like the relationship between Kate and Grace.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so cool that there was this like really strong, supportive female friendship that was like really being showcased like in this genre. And so I thought like the love and support there was really beautiful. And so I
Yeah.
thought
That was good.
bring all of that together.
Fantastic. No,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, in your own words, Issy, how would you describe Kate? Like, what's your
Ooh,
first take on her, on the
yeah.
character?
Yeah. When I like read the character bio, it said that she was sort of like really supportive and caring and warm, and I thought that's beautiful. That's like a really beautiful character to portray. But then when I also read the script, I was like, not only is she all of these things, she's also like really kick-ass. She like will not
Good
take bullshit
observation.
from
Yeah.
anyone,
Yeah,
which
that's true. Yeah.
I really appreciate.
Yeah, it's good that you picked
she's
up
like,
on that too.
Yeah, like she's sarcastic, she's funny, and she's also warm and supportive and caring. And I felt like she was like a really beautiful, well-rounded like human being. And so I'm not sure I could like put her into just one sentence, because I feel like she does sort of cover like a really large
It's a pretty
spectrum.
broad spectrum, yeah.
Yeah, which we as humans also do. So
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and the way we wrote it, she was sort of a character that sort of feels like she's an outcast in her own community. So have you sort of drawn any inspiration from real life sources about that, or?
Yeah. So this is a really interesting question, because we had some like really awesome discussions early on, when like, so I read the script and we were sort of talking about like, oh, what if we like made her gay? And I really appreciated that, because earlier in the year I had been in a production which was Thrive, and it was sort of showcasing queer voices and like going out into rural communities and festivals, and sort of making sure that like, you know, these like kids and who were like in a minority group like didn't feel alone, and that they like felt supported. And so what that also taught me was that, you know, like small towns can be cruel.
Yeah.
You know, they can
Definitely.
be like, and you can feel isolated, and you can feel like you don't have anyone else to talk to. And so that really did impact when I was sort of like thinking about the character, because the character had left this small town and gone to the big city, and I was sort of like connecting these dots, and I'm like, well, what if that was the reason? Or like, and we were having like some really great discussions too about like sort of changing that up. And then I got the wonderful opportunity to, like, thanks to you guys, to sort of contribute some script writing in that area, sort of based off that experience. And so that was really wonderful. And I also was like talking to some good friends who identified that way, and I was like writing some stuff, and I'm like, now does this feel authentic? Like, tell me about your experience respectfully.
Exactly.
And like, tell me about your experience, like, you know, growing up in like a small country town, and like, and also like society and how you interact with the world. And so yeah, so that was really awesome.
No,
Great.
no. So let's talk a little bit about you know, COVID. We've all been stuck in this now for what, good 18 months now as well, and the audition process has changed a lot. Unfortunately, the way things are doing, you know, face to face is always the best way of doing it, because then you can really communicate a lot better over that medium, as opposed to doing Zooms and things like that. So we've had to change our whole sort of philosophy of the way we do things. So how did you find the process of sending an audition in? And I must also say too that, you know, all our lead actors, including yourself, Megan, Django, and Nicole, all asked for, you know, an additional face-to-face Zoom call so that they could go through and talk about the character, which was wonderful. And a lot of actors, even though they did a great job of their auditions, really didn't take that opportunity up. So what is it about that whole process of, you know, one, recording it, and two, looking at this whole process of trying to get as much information about the character?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. And yeah, like as an actor, I have been experiencing many more video auditions than I ever would have anticipated. So yeah, but there are negatives and there are positives. Like, when you are doing an audition in a room, you do have that sort of live sort of like energy, like, that you get sort of one take to do this. But with this audition, actually, funnily enough, I actually did appreciate being able to do it on camera, because it was more similar to what I imagined like being on a movie set would be, where you would get multiple takes to sort of like get into the zone and get into character. And it was really interesting. There was this one particular scene which was sort of very emotional and sort of a bit soul destroying, and like, but it was one of the most difficult scenes, but also one of the most like enjoyable, and sort of like I felt like really, really happy when I got to that point. But it took me a few takes to get there. I had to really sort of like warm up and really get into that headspace. And maybe I could have done that sort of like in a waiting room if it hadn't been like a live audition. I don't know, but with this one in particular, it did take a few takes to really get into that place that I needed to be. And when I was there, I was like, yep, that's the one.
The one,
that's the one.
And we knew straight away as soon as we saw it. I mean, and it's one thing to say, and this is not a technical thing, but watching the four of you, and you all had we had the same feelings, it made the hairs on the back of our necks stand up. And also too, and I thinking, and I turned around to my wife standing, and I said, "Oh, these are my words. They've brought them alive." That is really the thing.
I felt the same way.
And actually, in those scenes that you did too, I mean, I was actually in tears. So
really,
yes. So when I thought, I wrote this, and I thought, if this can do this to me, it's a no-brainer. Hey, this is Kate. This is all good.
And Issy, we'd love to see what you're going to do on set. We're setting the bar pretty high here, but we're expecting a pretty amazing performance from you. So no pressure, not at the moment.
Exactly.
I'm very, very excited. I'm really keen to get up there and just give it a mad crack.
Exactly. And in the coming weeks, we'll start looking at doing, getting into that rehearsing process. We're going to have to do it via Zoom, unfortunately, for the time being. But anyway, it is what it is. And you've all had a chance to catch up regularly too with the other actors.
We've been.
Yeah, you guys have been in touch all the time, haven't you?
Yeah, we've been doing some chatting, and they're so wonderful. They're so awesome. I'm so excited to meet them in person, and also meet you guys in person too.
And we're excited to meet you all in person too.
It's funny that there's only a select few of our cast and crew that have actually met in the flesh. Like everything's just been emails and online Zoom chat. So it's really strange, but we'll be in a different world meeting each other in person.
Exactly.
In a twilight zone.
Yeah.
So any last words you'd like to talk about Remnant and in general?
Ooh, last words. I guess I've already said this. But I really feel like this one's a bit special. I think that, like, having met everyone, having talked to you guys, having even been allowed to sort of contribute my 2 cents to the script, I think we've got something really cool. I think the cast is awesome. I think the crew is awesome. Script is awesome. I'm just ready to have at it.
Rock and roll.
Just to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. No, look, we really appreciate your time today and getting involved and talking about the character. And look, we are looking forward so much to getting into production, and in the meantime, getting in and getting our audition, not all auditions, but getting our rehearsing all done and everything. So we really can't wait for that. Though, thanks for spending time with us today on this lovely sunny. What is it, sunny down there your way? Is it?
There is actually blue skies there, which is rare this time of year. There's some blue skies.
That's great. Look, thanks again for spending time with us, and we'll be chatting again soon. So, in our next episode, we're going to be chatting with Django Kulak, who's playing the role of Grace and Kate's old school friend Tom, so we look forward to that. So thanks everyone for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next episode.